It's Alex, aka Neo Dragon here, again with another review for you. This time we've got a McFarlane piece. Haven't really touched on McFarlane yet. This is a 1/6 scale statue from McFarlane. If you didn't know, um, they started doing statues a while back, a few years back now. I'm sure at some point everyone's owned a McFarlane toy, figure, whether it's, a Spawn figure, horror, dragons. McFarlane has done some fantastic figures, and some of their 12-inch figures still go for quite a decent amount of cash today. I think, before Hot Toys came into it, I think really, McFarlane was probably the best for action figures, although they became less action orientated. They literally became, small statues. Um, Articulation was less and less, but they did look fantastic. The Spawn statues, figures I was hooked on at the time, and the McFarlane dragons that he did were fantastic. The horror stuff he did and the twisted fairy tales, all fantastic stuff by some amazing sculptors. The sort of things that today and larger scales would sell fantastically. So yeah, but then McFarlane kind of dropped off. They stopped doing Spawn figures, started to move into Halo and a lot of sports figures, which did nothing for me. They still make figures now. They do Walking Dead and things like that, but nowhere near what the stuff they used to do. It's a really weird change of direction for them. But a few years back, they debuted a 9-inch Spawn, the Origins statue. Kind of basic, kind of okay statue. I think they actually did a Hellspawn statue as well, which wasn't great either. And then eventually they did a 1/6 scale Spawn statue from the first few pages of the first comic. Sold. They only did about 600, I think. Sold out really quick. Goes for quite a bit of money now. I don't actually have that one. I'm really gutted about it. And then they continued. They released a statue of Haunt, which I do have, which is a fantastic statue, which I will review at some point. And Curse of Spawn, all on 1/6 scale. Curse of Spawn came out really nice. Can still be picked up pretty cheap or around retail. I do have that one as well, so I will review that at some point as well. And this is the latest one. So obviously, as you can see, this is Medieval Spawn. Like I say, this is 1/6 scale. Now, I will say about the other two statues, Haunt and Curse of Spawn, the paints on them are fine, the details are fine, nothing wrong with them whatsoever. This statue is a huge step up. The details on this thing are amazing. I will go around it in a second. The paintwork is absolutely fantastic on it. It's one of the best 1/6 statues I've seen in a very, very long time. If McFarlane keep doing this and keep putting out Spawn product like this, I will keep buying it because they did such a great job on this. I'm going to try zoom in, try and get some details, but if not, I'd suggest you go and find some pictures of it or go and find some detailed shots of it because the details that are on there are fantastic. So we've got Medieval Spawn, as I said. On the base, this is the Violator's head. We've got the Medieval Spawn plaque on the front. All these teeth, all individually painted, all individual put in. Really nicely done. We've got the Violator's, fly eyes, them segmented eyes. Drops of blood here. Amazing paintwork. But when it comes into its own as Spawn itself, all the paintwork, all the detail, especially like the chainmail and things like that, are just so well done. We've got cuts running down his body here. A bit of blood. But just fantastic. The armour is so well done. When I first saw pictures of this, I was just a bit, yeah. But in hand, I was on the fence of cancelling this. So I was thinking, well, is it going to be that good? And You know, especially with the paint to the last two PCs. Like I say, they're fine, but they're really simple PCs. This is quite a complicated piece, and I just didn't think they were going to be up to it. But it came out so good. I'm going to try and get you a bit of a close-up on this shield, if I can. And the detail on that shield that's sculpted in is fantastic. We've got like the skeleton running down the middle here, and then it's just details galore. Like I say, if you can find some nice shots of this, definitely have a look. And we've got his cape back here, really well done. Really reminds me of the same style as the old figures, but obviously this is in polystone. Really good weight to the statue, really heavy for a 1/6. And then coming up onto his face, and then the arm raised above the head with the axe. Just like I say, even the axe, I don't know if you'll pick it up, but there's just sculpted detail galore in there. And overall, I'll just come back a little bit. Just we've got, you know, a 1/6 statue that stands around 17, 18 inches. Just so well done. The nameplate, I wish it was removable. I wish they'd done something. I don't mind it. The other pieces that Todd McFarlane put out before these, like say Haunt and Pierce Spawn, the original Spawn statue, all have signed nameplates, signed by Todd himself. Actually, you know, he actually signed this. This is the first one where they didn't. This is also a higher edition size. This is 1500. Oh, he did sign something. I will get onto that in a second. I just thought he did sign something. Like I say, there's 1500 of these. It's the highest one so far. I think the original Spawn was about 600. Pierce Spawn was about 800, and Haunt was about 400. So this one at 1500. Obviously a lot higher edition size. So let me just go into what we get with this statue, because it does come with a few rather nice swap-outs. First one is an axe. This is just pegged in, no magnets, but it's a really tight peg. Just see the details on that axe. Really well painted. Really well done. Really fine details. Done really, really well. And so instead of the axe, you can switch out to put the sword in. Again, some fine details, just a pen to push in. And like I say, it feels like it's not going to go in, but it's just really tight and smooth. And then also we have a switch out head. Now to do this actually comes out. These are two magnets. As you can see, that's a real chain, they're just magnetising all together. Then you have to take the cape off. This is a bit unfortunate, but they did it obviously to preserve the lines of the army. So the cape's quite heavy, we've got a double magnet there. So the cape comes off. And then the head comes out. So we can get some close-up detail on this head. Fantastically well done. The chainmail's really well realised. Love the little horn devil there. Actually, on the end of the sword there, if you just look on the tip of the sword, you've got the little violator head, which is pretty cool as well. So that's the regular masthead. There's no exclusive. Oh, there was an exclusive for this, sorry. It was an unpainted artist-proof version, limited to 50, so it's basically the same statue, but no paint on it. Great if you want to paint up, or you know, you just want it for the exclusivity of, you know, a statue of 50 isn't much for the world. So that's basically anything that you buy comes with everything I've got here. If you buy the statue, and then we've got the unmasked head. To be honest, I thought the masthead I'd never display it, but it's really, really well done. I love the way they've done the eyes, and we've got like a more of rust and a gold golden chainmail. So that just sits in. The cape just pegs back in. Really easy to do. Obviously it's a bit more complicated than most switch out heads, and then these, just pull them apart, make sure we've gone the right way, and they just peg in. And there we have Spawn unmasked with his sword. Great switch out. You know, I think just the head wouldn't have done much, but the fact that you've got the sword and the head gives you a few options. And like I say, everything's just really, really well done. I can't gush about this. I honestly thought I was out of the 1/6 game, but you know, certain statues like the Castlevania one I reviewed and this, I mean, I know it's a bit thingy now, but I still love Spawn. I still read it. Who else is reading Spawn now? Obviously someone else is, but so you know, when stuff like this gets shown and it comes out as good as this has, then you know I'm happy to drop my. This is actually 250. You can probably get it for around 220. Again, I had this from collectiblesdirect.co.uk. Fantastic service as usual by Lee. Yeah, like I say, I thought it was out of 1/6, but Spawn stuff, you know, until Todd does do a 1/4 scale, you know, I'm happy to have a 1/6 collection of Spawn stuff, especially when they come out as good as this. This has got better details than some of my 1/4 stuff. Honestly, the details are just out of this, knocked out of the park. So, just going back to what I said about no signature on the actual base, you do, of course. There is a number underneath the base, but you get this as well. So this is the COA. So as you can see, I've got 1269 1500, and it is signed by Todd. That is his actual signature. And what they decided to do, which is a little weird in my opinion, I've never seen this on any other statue, is you get this. So this is a really thin sword, bit of weight to it. Completely different design than the one that Spawn's actually holding. And you get this little base with obviously the Spawn logo, a couple of skulls on there, a few pads on the bottom. And what they're supposed to do is, if you can see, we've got a hole here, just above the 9, and that is supposed to lie on there. The sword is supposed to go through and then onto the base. Now I'm not going to do it because you only get one of these certificates, so if you do end up damaging this, that's it really, you've got no other certificate. It's the only real qualm I have about the statue really. Like I said, the actual statue itself, forgetting any of this, totally worth it. If you're a Spawn fan, if you're a 1/6 fan, if you're a Details fan, go and buy it, pick it up, have a look at it. This part, kind of an afterthought for me. I say if they give you maybe a couple of 3 of these, you know, even if they did like, you know, that's your pristine one, and then they did one with like burnt edges or, you know, a bit of damage to it, so you could actually put it on there and not worry about that one. But you know, I would have preferred maybe a 3rd weapon, or you know, something that attached to the base, or anything rather than this. This will probably end up going back in the box with the certificate, because I don't really want to damage the certificate. And this on its own just looks nothing. I mean, it will, like I say, it will sit by the statue any way you want it really, but you know, it's just so there, it's just so nothing. Or you know, knock me 20 quid off the statue and don't give me that, you know. But like I say, apart from that just being an extra, at the end of the day it's an extra, you know, it's not detracting from the statue. You know, the statue is just, mine will be displayed like that, and the certificate, they will go back in the box definitely. But You know, coming back, focusing on the statue. So well done. Honestly, I urge anyone who's a Spawn fan, who collects statues, to go and get him. He's going to be about for a while, I reckon, at 1500. But let's say that first Spawn statue, because the low edition side is you know, it is Spawn himself, and the classic costume does go for quite a bit. I don't know whether this is going to reach those lofty heights, but I do think once he's sold out, people will start coming searching for him, because it's just, like I say, it's just so well done. I know I sound like I'm gushing now, and I am, because honestly I'm so impressed with this. I'm really, really excited now to see what McFarlane do next. Hopefully, you know, redeem it. Violator in 1/6 would be amazing, you know, but because I haven't got that first Spawn statue, I'd be totally on for another Spawn in 1/6. Some, you know, comic, you know, if he starts doing the cover art again, if anyone remembers them, the cover art figures he did were amazing. You know, those in statue form, yeah, I'd be throwing my money in Todd's face for those. So there you go, guys. That's McFarlane's Spawn, medieval Spawn, a 1/6 scale statue. Hope you enjoyed that. I know I did. And I'll see you next review. Bye.